Hey, welcome to this week on Hot Golf. You're in for a very special treat. Our good friend, Eamon Kennelly of Golf Vacations Ireland has brought us over to this beautiful country. We're in the heart of Dublin to enjoy everything it has to offer, including all the golf and Guinness you can drink. So let's tee it up this week on Hot Golf from Ireland. In 1894, a Scotsman made a left-hand turn, came across the Irish Sea, and found himself in a beautiful seaside village called Portmarnock. And here he brought all the skills of building a links-style course to Irish soil, and just, well, anybody who knows this story knows it better than I do is John Quigley. He's the secretary manager here at Portmarnock. Absolutely beautiful design, John.
Thank you very much, and you're very, very welcome.
Thank you, sir. The course itself sits right beside the Celtic Sea, right?
Yes, the
Irish Sea.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, it is truly a links-style course.
It is absolutely links. We got beautiful, not the huge dunes that you have on the west coast, but we have more gentle terrain where more rolling hills and traditional links course, links golf, bunkers, fast greens, and every variety of golf shot that you could expect to hit on a links golf course.
And that's the thing about links golf courses, folks. Every club in your bag comes into play out here. Well, let's talk about the rough. You know, if you get into the rough out here, talk about the rough a little bit.
Well, the rough this year would normally be burnt off in September, but we've had such a very wet summer that the rough is still a dreadful place to go.
Dreadful place to go, no doubt.
Avoid it at all costs and keep the ball on the prepared surface is my advice to you.
Yeah, absolutely, folks, because you get down in there, ball John goes down in.
You could get lost yourself in some of that rough.
I think I lost €5 in there a couple days ago. It's gone by now.
Yeah.
So not only do you have the rough to contend with, but as John said, it's been a little bit wet in Ireland this year. Traditionally, come August, September, you get into Open Championship weather, and the fairways just roll and roll.
Become fast fairways, very fast greens, and a hole can change in the course of an hour. It could be driving a wedge, and suddenly it's a driving a 4-iron, depending on how the wind turns.
Oh, that's another aspect of links golf. Because you're right beside the ocean, you've got a constant breeze, which we can feel is blowing around right now.
Absolutely.
Which wreaks havoc with your ball. It's almost, John, as if God himself sometimes grabs your ball and says, nah, I don't think so.
Absolutely. Yardages can mean absolutely nothing, you know. An 80-yard shot could easily be a 7 or 8 iron, you know, depending on the wind, how you see the shot.
Absolutely. So you've got all this combining, not only the topography of the land with the sand dunes, the heavy rough, but also you have all the elements of the rain and
the wind. Yes, all the elements are here in one day.
And if you're playing with a bunch of idiots in your group that are your friends and they know how to push your buttons, right? That's the worst.
That's right.
If they know what button to push, man, they'll get you going.
Absolutely.
Well, John, let's get into the heart of the golf course now, the Irish stew. Let's get a big spoon and get in there. Right. What's the signature holes?
Our signature hole would have to be our 15th hole, which runs down by the sea. It's a fantastic challenge, a par 3 of about 180 yards. Generally speaking, the wind is blowing you out of bounds, out to sea. It's a green up on a hill, so it falls away to the left and the sea is on your right. So the only place to be is on the green.
Oh, beautiful.
Phil Mickelson played it in the Walker Cup in 1990. He won 1990 here, and he made a fantastic tree from below the green, pitched it into one of his flop shots into 6 inches. Ben Crenshaw played it in the Irish Open here, and Ben felt it was one of the best par 5s in the world, the easiest par 5s in the world.
Wow. And that's a true, a pedigree always comes along with the tournaments, you know.
That's right.
And the Walker Cup, one of the greatest amateur events in the whole world, and the Irish Open to be held here really tells you a testament to the quality of the links here.
That's right.
For sure.
Right, yeah.
What are some of the other signature holes?
I would recommend the 12th hole is another par 3, which is again a fantastic challenge. Our 14th hole runs out towards what the Americans call the Eye of Ireland.
The Eye of Ireland.
Affectionately, it's Ireland's eye. That's where you try and line up, and then the hole is a dogleg to the left, and it's a tremendous golf hole. Again, it's a raised plateau green, and a fantastic tee shot and a fantastic second shot.
Wonderful, wonderful.
On the front 9, you've got the Baldoyle Bay on your right, so you get off to an interesting start. And the 4th hole is probably the toughest hole on the 9th, on the first 9, which is a winding dogleg right to left with a tremendous golf hole.
What makes it so tough?
It's that lovely rough you spoke about earlier. It's left and right and it's everywhere. So the only safe place to be is on the fairway.
It's like an angry wife. It's always there.
It's always there. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Ready to destroy you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Quigley, we appreciate it. We're going to take a look around the golf course now, and of course the beautiful clubhouse behind us too. We'd be remiss not to talk about it.
Absolutely. That one was revamped in 2003, and it's a special place, and we recommend that you go in there and sample the 19th hole, which is our world famous Guinnesses. Available in there. You won't have any regrets.
All right, John Quigley.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, sir.
You too.
Thank you.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you. All right, hey, Brian and I did so well on the golf course the other day that we've come downtown. Well, tell them where we're at.
We are downtown Dublin at the Guinness factory.
What more do you want out of life? Let's go inside and have a few pints and see how they do it Irish style.
So, in terms of Guinness Storehouse, this is actually a copy of the lease that started Guinness in 1759. For any of you who are not aware, Guinness is celebrating its 250-year birthday in next year, 2009. So there will be very big celebrations going on around the world, and actually America is most likely going to be home to a lot of those celebrations. So this lease is of course very significant because Arthur Guinness, when he purchased part of the site here at St James's Gate, one of the most famous breweries in the world, he agreed a fee of £100 in 1759. Now £100 of course was a lot of money back in those days, but Arthur was quite lucky. He actually inherited £100 from his godfather, who was the Archbishop of Cashel, a few years before. So he had actually set up a brewery beforehand in a place called Leixlip, and quite recently Guinness acquired land over there for a further brewery. So it's been kept very much in the Guinness family. So initially he was there, but then decided to move to Dublin to really kind of boost Guinness in the world, okay? So what happened was the terms of this lease were £100, and he signed it at £45 per year for a period of 9,000 years, okay? It's a very famous lease. So most people back then would have signed a lease for about 50 to 100 years. So 9,000, of course, is very unusual, but Dublin City Council did agree upon it and they signed for it. So Arthur obviously knew what he was doing, so we do have this land for another 8,750 years. So paying £45 per year on that was a very smart plan, because as time went on, of course, that became a very good deal for a location like this. So Guinness obviously through the years grew and grew, and by the early 1900s this was the largest brewery in the world, okay? And even today this brewery is currently producing between 3 and 4 million pints of Guinness every single day, okay? The demand for Guinness is massive. It is the largest.
You drank after.
A lot of that last night.
Thought I could beat it.
It is the largest selling stout in the world, largest selling dark beer on earth, okay? And we're currently selling 10 million glass of Guinness every day in 150 countries. America is actually it's the 4th biggest market in the world currently. The largest is currently the UK, obviously based on the population and a lot of Irish living there. The second biggest is actually Nigeria, and the third biggest is Ireland, okay? Ireland and Nigeria are very much neck and neck. But Africa as a continent is actually the biggest consumer of Guinness. They drink massive quantities of it, so much so that we have built the largest Guinness brewery in the world in Lagos, Nigeria, and another one has been built in Cameroon and Ghana. So this supplies the demand for the Guinness. But the Guinness that they drink in Africa is different to the Guinness that we would be familiar with. We're all quite familiar with Guinness Draft, which you probably drank in the pubs here. Guinness Draft would of course be one of the biggest sales in the pubs, of course, around Ireland. But Guinness Foreign Extra Stout, which has been around since the early 1800s, is consumed in Africa. And this is a much stronger Guinness, 7.5% alcohol, as opposed to 4.2 that we drink. And it's got a higher hop content, meaning it's got a bit more bite to it. But the Africans love this. And if you go to the Caribbean, you'll notice the Caribbean sell this also. It's very big in the Caribbean, and it's also quite big around Asia. So depending on where you go in the world, you will find various different types of Guinness, okay? But Guinness Draft is the one that in America and Ireland we're very familiar with. And for any of you who like your Guinness, you've probably tried Guinness Extra Stout, which is a white label bottle, which you also get in America. This is very good for cooking, if you like your Guinness and food. So if any of you like to make beef stew, Guinness Extra Stout gives a really nice carbonated flavour to this. So I'd very much suggest that. Pub is looking after its glasses properly, you'll know immediately. So although it's invisible to the human eye, it's called a non-rinsing film if your glass is not being cleaned thoroughly, i.e. if you use blackcurrant in your glass. If you ever pour milk into a pint glass of Guinness, you cannot use it, it'll never be the same again. Because it leaves this film on the glass you can't see, but it affects the quality of the pint. So every time you're in a pub now, whether it's in America or here, always look at your glass and see this lacing. It's a telltale sign of how good the glass is. We need 4 ingredients, okay? First of which is barley. Barley we grow in Ireland, actually very close to Dublin. In the southeast, we grow approximately 100,000 tons of barley to make Guinness every year. And here's what, of course, the barley looks like. But what makes Guinness and Stout different to a lager like Budweiser or Heineken is that we roast 10% of the barley that we use, and that is why Guinness is the dark colour that it is. So if you place this barley into basically these giant oven drums, you roast it for 2.5 hours at 230 degrees, it will become a very dark colour, almost identical to what a coffee bean looks like, okay? I'm going to get you to taste the roasted barley on the next floor. That will give you an idea of where a really rich flavour of the Guinness comes from, okay? And this is where the flavour of the Guinness, the roasted flavour of the Guinness comes from, okay? So as I said before, about 10% of our barley is roasted, very much like a coffee bean, okay? You can see it here. If you break it open through the middle, you can see it's dark all the way through. So everybody taste it for yourself, and you'll see where that lovely rich flavour of Guinness comes from. And what happens is, if you hold the glass here, where the beer is, you'll notice the temperature. Guinness should be served between 6 and 8 degrees Celsius. If it's too warm, you'll always know because the head will be too big. So sometimes you go to a bar and ask for a pint, and the head's massive. It's generally a sign that there's no cold room, and the beer is too warm. On the other side, if you go to the UK and you order what's called Guinness Extra Cold, you notice the head is very, very wispy, okay? So to get it perfection, you want it just the right temperature, okay? And the last thing is just swirl your glass around like this and breathe in the smell. And notice how different it is to a beer or a cider. It's very, very rich smell when you get from the Guinness, okay? It's aroma from the hops. So when you drink your Guinness, the right, never take a small sip, you want to take a gulp. Because a lot of people, when they drink Guinness the first time, they're put off with the dark colour, and they take a small sip and they actually drink the head of the pint, the most bitter part. So block the head with your lip and put it back, alright? Big gulp into your mouth, wash it around and get the flavour, okay? So cheers. Don't chat exactly like that. And there's the lacing I was talking about. See the lacing there? Perfect glass. Okay. Okay, everyone take note of this, okay? There's 6 steps to the perfect pint of Guinness, okay? You have to learn before you go home, and I hope you can tell bartenders back home who don't know the right way how to do it. The first thing is always make sure your glass is a Guinness glass, okay? Because it's perfectly shaped to hold the head in place. Secondly, the clean glass. So hold it up to the light, nice and shiny, you know it's clean, okay? The next thing you do is always hold the glass at a 45-degree angle, and try not to stab the nozzle into the glass like you see some people do that, because it stops the gas from kind of letting the drink in naturally, okay? So hold it just away. And then you're going to pull the handle all the way down, okay? You can hear the 2 gases going to work there now. And we're going to slowly straighten the glass up as we go along. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to fill it up as far as the heart, okay? And after that, we're going to leave it here for 2 minutes, okay? In Guinness, we say 119.5 seconds to be precise, okay? And here's where we see the surge go to work. So as I said before, the mix of the gases, and this is what I personally love about Guinness so much, is that it's the anticipation factor. If you're very, very thirsty and you're waiting for a pint, especially your first one of the night, and you're sitting at the bar and you have to wait 2 minutes for this damn thing to get ready, it builds up the anticipation, so you're really, really looking forward to it. The higher you fill the pint up initially, the bigger head you want, okay?
Have you ever had somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, grab it off the bar and then try to take it that way before you've topped it off?
No idea.
Boy, and what would you make of that man?
I wouldn't be happy, I won't lie. I wouldn't be happy. So, this is the first. So who would like to go first? So, what's your name, sorry?
Doug.
Doug is going to be first up, right, man? Okay, so this one here.
Yeah.
Nice one glass. A few scratches won't matter.
Don't ruin this number. Representing America.
So slowly turn the glass just right. We're going to fill it to the heart.
Not so fast, not so fast.
Perfect. Perfect.
A little bit.
Good. What I'm going to ask everyone to do is a piece of paper here, if everyone can put their name in block capitals, okay?
Let's see what you got, Dave. Let's see what you got, baby. Bring your game. Do it. Come on, Dave. Do it. He's got a good smile on his face. He's got a good smile.
The hands of a surgeon.
Oh. Overshot. Ooh. That was.
I wanted a larger head.
It was all right. Getting better.
This, you can actually put your own little pattern on the drink, okay? Pop the bubble, and then you put it up on the bar. And what you'll notice about this pint is it's got a little shamrock on top, but also it's what we call proud of the rim. Because the reason why you want to pour it in a Guinness glass is because the head at the top there, the top of the glass is slightly thicker, so it keeps the head in place, alright? So there you can see, you always want to pour your Guinness just proud of the rim. Over the top, but never spilling. There's nothing annoys people more who love their Guinness than Guinness spilling over the edge, okay? So perfect presentation is important.
Mark is going to show us how to pour a Guinness the right way. All right.
Okay. Clean glass, first
Clean
one.
glass first.
Okay,
Right,
second one, 45-degree angle.
45-degree angle. You're touching the tip. Don't
No,
touch the tip.
not quite.
All right,
And then
go ahead.
pull the handle all the way down.
Handle down.
All the way.
Fill.
Fill it slowly but surely, straightening the glass up.
Straighten the glass up.
And then finally up as far as the heart. And
Whoa.
stop.
Stop.
So do you want to put that up there?
Now, Mark, how long does this have to sit?
About 2 minutes.
About 2 minutes, and in Irish time that is.
119.5 seconds.
You're right.
Precise.
All right.
And this builds up the anticipation. Are you keen to have that, you know?
I have. So how you doing? How's the family?
Fabulous, thank you.
That's good. What do you talk about for the whole 2 minutes that you're waiting for?
Game of golf.
Game of golf? How is
Yeah,
your
so-
game these days?
Not great, I'm off 12, trying to get down to single figures.
That's
Are you playing up?
45.
45, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good. Solid. Tee to green, you're good?
It is.
Yeah. So you can see it's getting nice and dark.
There we go.
So it's got a dark halfway up. So once this gets dark right up the top, we got all those nitrogen bubbles filling the creamy head at the top.
Very good.
So you want that head to be as creamy as possible. So
Very
you're drinking and it gives the lovely effect. You know?
Beautiful.
So I'll maybe get you to top that up then
All
yourself.
right, top it off.
So just pushing the handle back the other way, it's go back for black.
Back for
Just tap
black.
here, Richie. Just tap here.
Just tap. Back for black. Right
Nice
there.
and still. Perfect, yeah.
All right.
And all the way up to the top.
All the way up to the top.
Whoa! That was skillful.
All right.
So now you're going to put it up on the bar.
Up on the bar.
I've never seen someone pull that up before.
See, that's beautiful.
We'll just turn that away from the camera.
Nah, that's beautiful.
Okay, so that's a nice pint of Guinness.
Mark, you did really well. There's a bonus in this for you this year from Mr. Guinness himself.
Ah,
All right, so we're going to wait a second or two to drink that. But anyway, about your golf game.
back to my golf game. It's very cool. Very cool.
Excuse me.
Yeah, let's finish that up.
Cheers.
And everyone else finished theirs.
All right, hey, thanks for joining us for this little part of the trip. We've enjoyed the Guinness Brewery, Mark, and the free samples.
Glad to hear it.
I enjoyed them, Mark. I enjoyed the Guinness.
Glad to hear it. Well poured.
All right, man.
You poured a great pint yourself.
And remember, Guinness makes you
Strong. Absolutely.
Hey, it's time for this week's Golf Vacations Ireland golf tip. He knows a little bit. Joey Purcell, he's a head pro here at the Portmarnock Golf Club near Dublin, Ireland. And the most important thing for you beginners is hand position. Joey, how do you hold your hands?
Well,
the right way, the right way.
The right way. The first thing you must do is, if you can face both hands palm to palm, as if you're saying your prayers.
St. Patrick,
Right.
please make the ball go.
You must have both hands facing each other on the grip. So as you grip the golf club, you hold it down at the butt end of your fingers in your left hand, so the V between your thumb and forefinger comes up to your right shoulder. And you get the same with your right hand going underneath that, so that the V between your thumb and right finger again points up to your right shoulder. That leaves it easy for you to control the club head. And without the control of the club head, you just can't play golf.
It's that simple, folks. Proper grip, proper stance, bang.
Bang.
Playing par golf.
Easy, easy.
Hey, that's this week's Golf Vacations Ireland golf tip of the week.
Super.
Right. Billy. Billy. Hey, Billy. Hey, Billy and I are outside the Guinness Brewery right now, and we'll be right back to, tell them, Billy. That's right, hot golf, right after this. Good boy. Hey, we're in the heart of Dublin right now, and boy, it's really bustling on a Sunday. They've got their Gaelic football championships going on, which is kind of like the Super Bowl in the United States. The folks are all over at the stadium right now. Kickoff's here in a little bit, so it's very exciting on a Sunday in the middle of downtown Dublin. We're right at the apex of the city. The statue you see over my shoulder is of one Mr. Connolly, who led the first revolution for independence against the British a long, long time ago. So let's go take a look around the city right now. St. Patrick's Cathedral, very famous, and Trinity College, and just all the sights and sounds in downtown Dublin. I think I got a ball around here someplace too, a Titleist someplace. Well, it's been an exciting match so far. I mean, Kerry really gave it to him, but Tyrone seems there's about 30 seconds left, and it seems like Tyrone is going to win the Gaelic Championship. Here they go again. And the coup de grace is done by Tyrone, and certainly the folks here in the bar are pleased with the game. So, all right, well, on to St. Patrick's Cathedral at this point.